Kia ora. Well, a very unsettled start to the week across many parts of the country. We've got a band of rain and some embedded thunderstorms that run across those northern parts of New Zealand, and a southerly change bringing cooler air back up across towards Wellington by lunchtime. That continues to make its way northwards as we head through the next couple of hours, bringing that wet weather up in towards the lower parts of the Northland as well. So two systems wrapping around, bringing that rainfall in towards parts of Canterbury as well. But we are going to find things clear off down south as that rain moves northwards, along with some stronger winds as well through Wellington, Wairarapa, and also around this Kaikoura coast as we head in towards the evening time. Up north, that rain pulling away to leave some clearer skies this evening, but still some fairly heavy falls there. Now overnight we'll keep those southerly winds running right the way up through parts of Wellington, Wairarapa, and pushing that rainfall in towards Hawke's Bay and up in towards Tairāwhiti as well, particularly for the likes of, say, the Wairua district. You can see down south we've seen that rain start to peter out through the night time. We'll still keep hold of more cloud though around parts of Canterbury. Clearer skies down through Southland, Otago, and around that western coast of the South Island. But with a fair bit of activity with us, unsurprisingly, we have got some severe weather watches for that rainfall across those northern areas, through from Northland across and towards the Bay of Plenty. Those rainfall watches are through till this evening. Head along to the Met Service website for those. But you can also see we have got a strong wind watch, a place like Kaikoura in towards the Sounds around the likes of Wellington and Wairarapa, with those southerly winds that are pushing up through us this afternoon and towards the early hours of Tuesday. That rain also feeding in towards the Wairua district, again through in towards Tuesday as well, and we'll find some stronger winds on the other side of the hills in towards parts of the eastern Bay of Plenty, with those winds running down those hills through the east there. So keep an eye on the severe weather watches. You can find that information over at metservice.com. In terms of our temperatures, we're going to find things are starting to get a little bit cooler over the next few days, back down to lows of 4 degrees Celsius through those inland parts of Otago, while up north we're still keeping hold of that milder air at least through the night time tonight. Now looking in towards Tuesday, we start off with some very active weather still pushing up from Wellington up around those eastern parts of the Northland. Elsewhere things are gradually getting better, a brighter, sunnier day for places like Auckland and for most of the South Island. We've got plenty of dry weather in store. The change in wind directions will mean some cooler temperatures for us, but generally some better weather down there. We start off very windy though for Wellington. We have got that severe weather watch through towards the early hours of the morning, and we'll find those showers feeding in towards Wairarapa, in towards Hawke's Bay, perhaps some longer spells of rain through the Wairua district. We have got that heavy rain watch for you, and those rainfall pushing in towards Tairāwhiti, perhaps over the hills in towards the eastern parts of the Bay of Plenty, but more likely around the eastern areas, east of particularly say places like Whakatane, we'll find it stays pretty windy. Elsewhere, it's not a bad looking day. Any early showers for places like Auckland will clear off very quickly, and it's a fine looking afternoon. Cooler, I think we'll find our temperatures not as warm as they have been, but still highs of 23 in Auckland, 19 though beneath the cloud in Hawke's Bay. Now remember what we were getting last week, a much cooler feeling story through there, and a mere 13 degrees Celsius for us here in Wellington. Now, as we head down towards the South Island, we should find it's a bit of a better day, at least in terms of sunshine. Plenty of clear sky for places like Invercargill, up towards Queenstown and around that western coast. There's more cloud sticking with us through Canterbury and a few showers early on. So those stronger winds perhaps first thing around the Kaikoura coast and around the Marlborough Sounds. But it's an improving day. So as we head through towards the afternoon, any early showers around the likes of Christchurch and Canterbury clears off. The cloud breaks up as well, and some fine weather towards the end of the day. But places like Dunedin, pretty good even from the word go. It is going to be a cooler day down there though. Highs of about 17 for those eastern areas which keep a bit more clouds, so Christchurch and up in towards Kaikoura, 14. Particularly first thing, it's going to feel pretty cold as well. Where we get the best of the sunshine, Queenstown reaching highs of 23 degrees Celsius, 20 out towards Hokitika. Looking ahead into Wednesday, we'll keep hold of low pressure towards the north, and that keeps a bit of an onshore feed of air towards these eastern parts of the Northland. In those western areas, generally a dry looking story, and for the Southland, beneath a brief ridge of pressure keeps things fairly settled through there. This low pressure though keeps a bit more cloud and wet weather on towards those eastern facing coasts, so keep that in mind for those areas, especially places like the Wairau district, and this next front edging closer towards us for the middle part of the week. And that's it from me. As always, you can find the latest forecasts over at metservice.com.